I recall one time when someone, actually it's happened many times, but I remember a specific time when someone asked me to pray for them while standing at the church altar at the end of the service. As you guys know, we come from a pretty large ministry, and we had some really powerful times at the altar. Many, many times my wife and I and the elders and deacons, we have spent, and I'm not exaggerating, 2-3 hours at the altar. Am I right? Working and praying for people and laying hands upon people long after the sermon. Our service started at 10. A bishop would be finished maybe around 1 or so, and then we'd be there. Am I right? My sons know it too, because the kids, they was always like, Mom and Dad at church forever, but it was just normal for us to not leave till 4 o'clock because we've been praying for people at the altar. And so there was one person that came up, I remember this, and they were having physical problems, headaches and all kinds of issues in their finances and many things going wrong in their life. And as I usually did, many times people would ask for me to pray, and they ask very specifically when people come to the altar. They tend to say, Pastor, I've got a headache and I want you to pray for that, and I've got financial problems and I want you to pray for that. And so they want you to pray about these specific things. But I happen to be one of those people. I stop and I pray in the Spirit, pray in the Spirit, pray in tongues. I do just what the Apostle Paul taught us to do. You pray in the Spirit, and I will pray in the understanding also. I'll sing in the Spirit, and I will sing with the understanding also. So I prayed in the Spirit and waited for the Lord to give me what to pray. Because I really wanted to just lay my hands on them and bind the power of darkness and oppose every spirit that was hindering their life. You know, 'cause that's us pastors. You know, you tell me to pray for the headache. I bind this headache, you know, and pray for the finance. I lose money. And so see, well, we're ready to go there. But as I prayed in the Spirit, one simple phrase kept coming to me. Praying in the Spirit, and the Lord keeps dropping this thought in my head. There's somebody that they need to forgive. So I laid my hands on them again and continued to pray in the Spirit, because I really didn't want to say this. I don't want to say this. I just want to pray for the headache and for the money problems. I don't want to pray for this. And I wanted to cast out the devil that was giving them a headache, and then you know, using my best authoritative voice, Father, in the name, you know, you know, or you say Jesus. And I wanted to go, but the thought kept coming back. There's somebody they need to forgive. Oh, so finally, and I would do this, especially if there's a lot of people around as there was, I'll whisper in the person's ear, and so I did, so nobody else could hear what I said. I said, I keep wanting to pray about the things you mentioned, but the Lord keeps telling me that there's somebody you need to forgive. So the person just kind of dropped their head. And I took the time to explain that the problems that they were having wasn't the problem. Their blessings were being blocked by unforgiveness. So I led them in a prayer of forgiving the person, whoever it was. I told them, you don't have to tell me. And my wife and I always prayed that way. I told them, you don't have to tell me who it is, but really let them go. I don't need to know who it is, and you don't even need to tell me what the whole situation is. So I led them in a prayer for them to let the person go. Now, I must say that I've led many people in this prayer, really have. But some have received it and release the other person. Some I've watched them break down in tears and experience total and complete healing and deliverance. Others I've watched them tighten up, get stiff, get offended, and just walk away from the altar. It's their choice. It really is. Because some people have been through some really horrible things, believe me. So I'm not saying that flippantly. People have been through some horrible things. And so it can, when your heart's not ready, some pastor standing at the altar telling you to forgive, you don't know what, I know the thought in their head, you don't know what I've been through. How dare you tell me to forgive? You know, she left me, he left me. See, It's serious things, you know. I got AIDS because of them. I didn't even know they was cheating, and they brought this on me. See, and then you sitting here telling me to forgive. See, that's where people are. There's some horrible things that have come into people's lives. Today, I can tell you, though, that unforgiveness is a blessing terminator.